Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me just say I've been on this subcommittee for a long time, along with a couple of other members, and this has been one of the most difficult hearings to research and prepare for, and I appreciate so much everyone participating today because it's so important that we get it right. Mr. Griffith referenced the positive aspects that unfortunately we're not really able to spotlight today because of the nature of the hearing. I have a university in my district, Texas Women's University. My staff handed me a newspaper article from last month, April 16th. Texas Women's University secured the program's 11th USA Gymnastics Collegiate National title on Saturday and registered the highest score ever seen in the championship. Clearly, you all are in this for the athletes, and that's for the right reason because the benefits returned from these programs are significant for the athletes themselves, their families, clearly their colleges, their universities, and the communities that where they reside. So don't want to lose sight of that fact, even though what we're looking into is just astonishing in how difficult it is. So as someone with a medical background, one of the things that has just been very, very difficult for me is how a medical professional has caused all of this damage. And this individual was licensed in the state of Michigan, but not in the state of Texas. And under our current laws, states are responsible for licensing the people who provide medical care within their borders. So Ms. Lyons and Ms. Perry, I guess my question is to you, and I'll ask you, Ms. Pohl, the same thing. This individual, not licensed in Texas, was providing services, care, whatever he did, at the Crowley Ranch in Texas, not licensed by the state of Texas. So how do you go about ensuring that physicians that are taking care of your athletes are compliant with licensing obligations? And Ms. Lyons, I guess we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Ms. Perry.
Well, I think that's one reason we want to embark upon why we have our independent investigation from Ropes and Gray underway, to find out actually how some of these gaps in the systems occurred. There are supposed to be background checks. There's supposed to be medical certification checks. I may have to defer to my colleague. The national governing bodies are responsible for the licensing of their own physicians, but those checks are meant to happen, and I think the investigation will help us understand if they did or did not, and why.
And we see what a serious breach this was when this didn't happen in this case. And Ms. Perry, I guess that when an individual signs onto a training program at a ranch like this, I mean, presumably there's some type of consent that is entered into. Is that not correct?
First, I want to say it's horrific. And, you know, every day that I wake up, I think about how do we make sure as an entity that we are doing everything we can to protect our athletes. That's why I took this position in December. And so one of the things that we are looking at, as Ms. Lyons talked about, was finding out the facts that could have led up to such a horrible situation. And so having the Ropes and Gray independent investigation is very important to us. It's very important to me to learn so that we can make sure that we go down the right path. One of the things that I looked at immediately was that I did not want our athletes to ever return to a place where they had abuse. So as you all know, we closed the ranch.
Thank you.
That was very important. But on a go forward, I think it really does make a big difference that as a national governing body, we look at everything. We look at our structure, we look at our policies, we look at our systems, we look at our medical, and we hold ourselves to the highest standard because ultimately we represent and we advocate our athletes. And I'm committed to that every day.
So, I mean, just to point out the obvious here, though, you had an unlicensed physician taking care of people. I don't know if the parents of these children were apprised of the fact that here's a physician who's not licensed in the state of Texas who's going to be participating in the training program. wrong on so many levels, and unfortunately now we see the consequences of that. And I guess I just have to ask, I mean, who paid for this doctor? Was this something the parents had to pay for, the ranch pay for it? Who was responsible for paying for this?
From my understanding, he was a volunteer, but he was paid expenses. I believe everybody knows he was an employee of Michigan State, but he was a volunteer for USA Gymnastics.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Chairman, I've got so many more questions, and I will submit them for the record. Mr. Davis, I really thank you for your testimony today. It underscores the point of how important it is we get this right. We can think we've got it right, and then it turns out we didn't get it right, and then years later, you have to continue to deal with the problems from not getting it right. It is important that we be right on this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll yield back.
Thank you, sir.